So before our guest hops on, I just want to let you guys know, did an interview last week with Dr. Dave and uploaded, his introduction as a YouTube short. The audio was needed to be fixed, so it was slow. It was higher than Dr. Dave speaking, and but it is fixed now, and I just want to let you guys know that it is fixed. So make sure y'all go ahead and go watch it. So we right now are waiting on our guest. There he is.
All right. Can you hear me okay, Jeremy?
Absolutely. How are you today?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing excellent.
Awesome.
Let me try to. I don't know how to put our everything side by side.
You got it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you see it on your end?
No, on my end I got it like gallery and it's still like on top of each other.
Okay, so hopefully, I mean, this recording record right, but I don't want to. We already took up enough time, you know what I'm
All
saying? So
right.
I appreciate
Yeah.
you, first and
Sir.
foremost for your time and hopping on here with me. Last week I got the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Dave, and he spoke very highly of you, and I viewed your page and seen the things that you were doing, man, and it's very impressive. Your
You.
consistency is amazing, man. And I just want to allow you to tell the people who you are and a little bit about what you do.
All right. Well, my name's Thomas Campbell. I am a web developer by trade. I've been doing web development for a long time, man, like over 10 years. And really, I got into it in middle school. But what my passion and my focus is with blockchain, Web3, crypto, in that world, being just kind of like a tech internet native person and seeing like the opportunities with this new technology, how like the future will move forward into that. I just jumped all over that. But yeah, I'm a web developer by trade. I have a degree in finance. I've been trading for a few years. I've been into crypto since 2017. Had the opportunity and the blessing to have had great, outstanding experiences because of that. Um, you know, like yeah, I've had a chance to meet a lot of cool people, man, and travel the world. And one of my friends, he's been a crypto millionaire since like 2014,
Wow.
and yeah, like the first Lamborghini Urus in California. I got to drive like a McLaren with them, and he started like a crypto startup back in 2018 when they had like an ICO boom and they raised like 5 or 6 mil. So I helped him with that. So I've done like, yeah, startup stuff, development stuff, trading stuff.
Okay, that's awesome, man. So yeah, this the perfect time to talk about it because right now there's some people they may be fearful about how crypto is going now. If you guys don't know, crypto is started out as decentralized currency, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then now the government is kind of getting involved. If you have any insight about that, just speak to the people that may be scared to get into crypto right now because of the volatility for one, and the government is trying to get involved.
I would say like on the topic of fear, people fear the stuff that they're just not like familiar with. So that's fine. That's fine to be like somewhat fearful, I guess, because we're as humans, we're like naturally skeptical on everything that's new because we don't want to like put ourselves in risk and danger. Once you like just try to start looking into understanding something, the fear tends to go away because fear is just from that big question mark. Like you said, the governments and Wall Street are, as a fact, already like getting into crypto. People focus on like Bitcoin and the price of Bitcoin, but at the core, it's like it's another layer of the internet that's being built right now. So, like I said, I've been in the web development since like middle school. So we had like AOL 28K dial-up internet, and I learned about TCP/IP protocols, and that's how devices on the network communicate with each other. And so what blockchain and crypto is doing is adding another layer of the internet on top of that for like money and value exchange. Now, the government, just in the past few months, has like ramped up billions and billions of dollars of US dollar stable coins onto the blockchain. So, speaking to the fear question, the government's already into it right now. Like they're positioning themselves right now to get into blockchain. So we we shouldn't be surprised in the next like few years, like in the short term, that they start offering like blockchain based products and services. So if they're already doing it and you wait until they hand it to you, it's not in your best interest to like wait for stuff to come to you. If people are fearful, I would encourage you right now to look into crypto and just search up like US government treasury and blockchain and stuff like that because they're putting resources and money onto the blockchain right now and that's for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. And it's it's a word called inferior. People are afraid of it because they don't understand it, they don't know it. So I appreciate you, providing that value to my audience. So hopefully they'll be more wanting to learn more about it, so they can start get out of here and start making some extra money.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
because like sorry to interrupt there. Yeah, because
no, you're fine.
I just want to make this point. Everybody looks at Bitcoin, Solana, meme coins because they get into crypto because they want to make money, right? And that we all do. We
Mhm.
literally all do. But that there's like two different things going on here. There's the making money part, and then there's the actual underlying technology part. And so the technology is like legit, and the government's adopting it. Wall Street is adopting it. And since they're putting the money on chain already, it does set up those other cryptos like Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and down the line to like do well because the liquidity is there to flow into that and push those prices up.
Yeah, yeah. So would you say that the Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum is the best crypto to start getting into?
Yeah, yeah, I would say so. Like, I've had friends tell me in the past, like, when I would get advice from like the people doing really well that I know, they would just say simple, basic stuff like, man, don't go crazy on the meme coins and the small cap altcoins. Just build a portfolio, starting off with Bitcoin and ETH. And for me, I didn't want to have it, but if you look at just in the past, like I think 2 years if you put like $1,000 in Bitcoin or $1,000 in Ethereum, you would have made money like maybe like three times, 3x or 5x. But if you put it in altcoins, you could pull up the chart right now. If you pull up altcoins, like today and like a year ago, it's pretty much sideways. So I mean, Bitcoin and ETH has been the strong play for the past year or 2 years. And then, what you're doing when you're like buying Bitcoin and Ethereum, you're not just doing it just to like make money in the future. You're doing it to like protect your dollars and purchasing power from losing value over time. Because we all see like cost of goods going up. If you're parking money in Bitcoin and Ethereum, you're really just protecting yourself right there. And you can use that to like lend off of. There's a lot of cool crypto DeFi services out there that like you could set up your Bitcoin and ETH as collateral, pull out US dollar stable coins and use that for trading. So you still have like your portfolio, you're building your assets. And so, yeah, I would say like Bitcoin ETH, man, you can't really go wrong with that unless there's like a bigger picture, you know, uh, structural problem.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was around, when the internet first came out, it was like in the
Yeah,
90s or something
yeah,
like that. And we had AOL and
yeah,
dial-up and
yeah,
all of that good stuff, man. It was a different time, you had to put
yeah,
this
for
CD in there and,
sure.
plug
Yeah.
your internet into
Mhm.
your computer. So Web3 is interesting. I heard you mention it earlier. So if you can give us, where web is going now with the Web3 thing.
Say that like the potential where web could go right now is actually kind of where the web used to be when we got into the web. So when we got into the internet, it really was like more open, more like internet global connected. Right now, it's not so much like that. If you go on Google or any search engine, I mean, they really like have a strong framework of what you're being fed. When you search
Yeah.
something, they're just going to show you what they want to show you because like right now, Amazon and Google own the internet. They literally own the internet. They own the infrastructure, the wires, everything, the computers hosting the websites. And when we got into the internet, anybody with the computer can put up a website and anyone else or in any other country around the world could access that website. So the internet was really like more free and open. And so with Web3, it's like realigning incentives because everything's like tokenized, it has some form of value. It realigns incentives so that we potentially could have kind of like another environment on the web that looks like that makes the web look like what it used to. Because before, like I said, anyone can make apps and services, anyone can make up websites. And now, like, it looks like you can do that now. But, Amazon owning like the server, the computer hardware where your website is hosted, if they don't like something you're doing, they could cut you out. And back then it wasn't like that. But, over time, the incentives weren't there for people to host it on their own computer because there might have been a lot of upfront costs. It was easier for you to just outsource that to Amazon, host your sites on Amazon because they can make some money off of you. You save money, save time, save energy by hosting it with them. That's business and it makes sense. But doing that over the years and over decades, I mean, they've like grabbed power and they grabbed like ownership of the internet. But now with Web3, decentralized infrastructures, decentralized like infrastructures over the internet, it kind of brings us back like full circle to like a truly free, open source kind of internet.
Okay, that's awesome, man. So 2017, you say you started in 2017. So where, if you can remember, where was the market at then and where it compared to where it is now?
I think like
It was like around 50 something, 50,000 for Bitcoin or something.
no, the 2017 was when Bitcoin first went to 20K and then it was going crazy on the
Oh,
news
okay.
back then. Yeah, that was like just before 20K. And yeah, at that time, I think when I got in, Bitcoin was like 9 grand or whatever. And I was trading like Bitcoin and altcoins. And here's a lesson right there on why you actually want to hold like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because taking my experiences and having made like tens of thousands of dollars in trading Bitcoin and Ethereum and altcoins in 2017, I was taking profits in US dollars, right? So let's say I made like 50 grand in profit. I cashed it out in US dollars. You're going to spend that or save it or whatever. But if that 50 grand was not in US dollars, but it was stored in Bitcoin, that 50 grand today would be like 150, maybe $200,000 today. So, um, yeah, that it's a strong argument for saying like, you want to put something there.
Yeah, so what a lot of people hear about, trading like trading stocks and stuff like that. And I hardly come across people that trade crypto. Can you tell the people or explain to the people like the difference between the two and is if there's any different strategies that you would use for each one?
You really can't go wrong with like a longer term strategy. So I've traded a lot of different stuff. Like I've done stocks like most people. I've done options, futures, crypto futures. And in my opinion, for myself with my own experiences, I've done best with like spot trading. And you can see interviews with people who do spot trading like stocks, um, making like, going from 10 grand to $1 million. So my advice as far as trading would be don't get too greedy, man. People who do like the funded accounts, people do like the leverage trading and they have to set stop losses and stuff. But the big lesson here is like somebody's always trading against you. It's going to be these like well-rounded, well-funded, well-prepped like Wall Street hedge funds and stuff like that. And so if you go into the game trading off of the charts, like the intraday charts, and you're setting stop losses and all that stuff, just just assume that those people trading against you already know where you're setting your stop losses. So if you trade spot equities, spot crypto, and you just buy dips and you sell on green candles, buy dips, sell on green candles, you're gonna have a lot better success than doing the highly leveraged like, stuff with like stop losses and stuff, because they know where your stop losses are, bro. So you set stop losses, you're giving money away. But in terms of trading and stuff, it's not a whole lot different, with stocks and crypto. You just got something that represents something, and the price of it goes up and down based on like psychological perception and stuff.
Man, you just made that sound so simple.
Yeah.
And you mentioned a word the only word I know when it comes to like trading is candlesticks, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, but uh, a lot of people, just like myself, I got discouraged from doing trading and stuff like that.
Urging, man.
It could,
It's not
it
easy.
looking at those, the candlesticks and all of that is very complicated for somebody that's just now looking at it. So if you had to break it down to the simplest form, even more, how would you explain it to someone that's wanting to get into it?
Man, what I would say is don't overcomplicate it. Look at the longer term 1 day charts, the 1 day candle charts. And if whatever you're looking at is like way up here, it's probably not a good time to buy it. You're probably too late already. And this is the biggest lesson, man. It like technical analysis and patterns and moving averages and RSI don't matter if your like mindset isn't there. And I could say that because like my mindset in the past year, just admitting my weaknesses, my mindset hasn't been there. I've been having greed and FOMO and all that stuff. So like, to make it simple, buy on the red candles, sell on the green candles, look at the bigger picture. It really isn't that hard. It doesn't have to be that hard. The big lessons, you got to have patience. That's what I want to drill in on the mindset. You got to have the right patient mindset. Wait for it. If it's all the way up and it's green, wait for it to come back down. And maybe you see on the news and on social media, the vibes are like, oh, Elon Musk's, Teslas are getting burned and stuff like that, and people are fearful. And then you see red candles on Tesla. It's the time to buy. It's for sure the time to buy. It could go down a little more, but that's where the patience comes in. You wait. It's gonna run again because they're not going anywhere. Most of these big companies aren't going anywhere. So patience on selling for taking profits, patience on buying the dips, patience on holding it. You just gotta have patience and have like a bigger long-term perspective and not be greedy.
Yeah, whenever it's blood in the streets, it's time to eat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the main thing is, buy low, sell high.
Hmm.
So
It really is that simple.
yeah. So like I also watch some, trading videos, man, and these people have to have a lot of computers, man. How many computers you trading off of?
Me, I just
Yeah,
got like one big widescreen monitor above the MacBook.
that's what
Yeah.
I have. Yeah, yeah. But I guess like why do they have all those computers though?
It looks cool. It looks real cool, and it's helpful like if you want to see correlations across different like sectors. It like specifically if you're trading stocks, and you got like the healthcare sector tickers up there. I could see people like doing it for that reason, but I think there's also, what do they call that? A point of diminishing returns. So
Oh
you
yeah.
invest all that money into the equipment and stuff like that, and you might make marginally better than what other people do. So
Oh, okay.
I think it all depends on like the individual listening to this right here, what their goal is. If they want to have a more like chill approach to it, then like the patience, longer term approach is perfect. But if they
Yeah.
really want to, like, if they see themselves as that guy, go for it.
Yeah. So it could be one of those things where they just trying to make themselves look like they trading a whole bunch and they're expert and stuff like that. What do you enjoy about trading versus any other like means of making money?
I would say like what drew me into that was just the upside potential and the time. So before I got into crypto in 2017, I worked in the oil field, I worked construction, and even in the oil field, you can make good money. Let's say I'd make like $2,000 a week, but I'd be out, in the job sites, out in the field for like 80 hours, working, clocking in. And I got into trading and stuff in a class that I had when I was studying abroad in South Korea. I had a finance class. The professor was an investment banker from Hong Kong. He had us do like a something for the class where it's simulated trading, and we got like a simulated account and playing with that, doing exactly what I was saying, buying dips, selling when they went up, buying it when they went down, selling it when they went up, not overcomplicating it. Toward the end of the semester, I noticed that that account, that simulated account, was making like $2,000 a week. And so I saw the opportunity there where I could just live life spending a few hours a week making the same kind of money that I would have to literally stay out in the field the whole week and like give all my life hours out in the oil field just to make that same amount of money. So, and after that, I got into it, and I had a chance to meet people who are living that and doing that, and they said like you can absolutely have like your time back, and that's what I want, and I know that's what a lot of people want. It's not just about the money, but it's about that time freedom.
Yeah, yeah. And that's one thing that I, talk about on my channel is like creating the life that you want. You
Hmm.
know, some people they do stuff because they have to,
Yeah,
but it's a different mindset when it's like something goes off in your brain and where you know that you can actually create the life that you want. You don't have to be subject to working, like long hours.
absolutely.
So what I have another question for you before we wrap up because we only got 40 minutes. I don't know how long we've been. I think we got about 15 more minutes. But what do you do? No, because doing crypto trading and stuff like that, uh, it can be, you're sitting down and stuff like that. So what do you do to make sure that you're taking care of your health?
Taking care of my health.
Yeah, because I mean, you look pretty decent. You're looking pretty lean. So I just lost 50 pounds. So on my
Yeah,
channel, I
yeah.
speak about health and stuff like that. So if you can
I was
get,
seeing the I was seeing the journey too, man. That's impressive. That's
I,
impressive.
I
Uh,
appreciate that.
yes, sir. Yeah, for my own health, man, I try to at least at a minimum walk like 30 minutes every day. Um, I definitely love to hit the gym when I can. I haven't been that consistent recently. But yeah, just all the normal stuff, man. Some kind of physical activity, cardio, weightlifting. I, I I believe that 30 minutes of walking is really good for cardio and fat loss because I saw some chart online that once you get into higher intensity cardio, it actually taps into different stores of energy on your body. But low intensity cardio, I guess, like metabolizes fat more. So that's something that I think is valuable for health. And then the number one most important thing is it's diet, man, because we all know here in the US the diet is hard to it's hard to manage because it's not really a lot of great options for healthy food, and we're really trained on like unhealthy foods like fried foods and high carb meals and stuff like that. So diet is really important, and I have like a Asian background, so I have like a little different diet that's more like you know more plants involved instead of just straight meat and carbs and stuff like that. Try to eat a lot of veggies too.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was looking at the studies of how many like fast food restaurants. So Canada has like 21,000. We got 20 times that. We got 216,000 fast food restaurants in the United States, man. So it's sad, man. But I mean, you have to basically stay away from all these fast food restaurants because there's everywhere, man. Make sure that you guys are planning ahead and to where you won't have to go to these fast food restaurants and eat the crap that's killing us.
Yeah, it really is. It's literally like poisoning us.
Yeah, for sure. So, also on my channel, I talk about, personal brand, and I see that you are very, very consistent on your Instagram. Do you have any other social media platforms other than Instagram?
I got a YouTube channel. I got
Okay.
a TikTok account, and they all have the same handle, Mr. Campbell 404.
Okay.
But yeah, just like yourself, man, I see like the value in being active and, on social media because I mean, these experiences and conversations can add value to somebody. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check you out on YouTube and subscribe to your channel if I haven't done so already. I believe I did.
I
Yeah,
think so.
so how are you making sure like what's like your content planning strategy? Like do you just upload whenever or you have a set schedule?
Um, for YouTube, I try to aim for like one video a week here lately. And then on TikTok, I try to aim for like one video a day. I'm not always consistent with it, but that's kind of like the benchmark I'm going for. One video a day on, one video a week on YouTube, one video a day on TikTok. And as far as the content, I just cover kind of what I'm interested in at the moment,
Yeah.
and I'm still honing in on kind of like specific sub niches and stuff of what I want to cover. I think, on a side tangent, speaking of trading and investing, I think that's the direction I'm going to be going into, and that's where the opportunity is with crypto and DeFi. DeFi is decentralized finance, and this technology now enables everybody to become the bank. We can lend assets, we can lend US dollars, we can lend Bitcoin. People borrow it, and we get the interest directly instead of it going through the middle party being the bank. And there's a lot of other opportunities there. You could provide liquidity, so you can buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, put that into a liquidity pool. As people trade, like they sell their Ethereum to buy Bitcoin, or they sell their Bitcoin and buy Ethereum, or you can do Bitcoin US dollar pools. So if you put a bunch of US dollars in there, people are selling their Bitcoin to get US dollars. Those pools provide transaction fees, kind of like having an ATM business.
Yeah.
So you can hold the asset. The asset itself goes up in value over time, which is what we all want.
Right.
But like trading, you get like you want active income. That's why people want to trade, right? This here, it gives you fees collected every day and every week. So you're not trading, you're not making like those crazy big gains, but you are making consistent money every day and every week. And it stacks and compounds like a real business. So what I'm focused on right now is that DeFi and liquidity pools, providing liquidity.
That's awesome. Yeah, so we Zoom just gave me an alert that we got to wrap up soon. So if you, I'm gonna let you use this bit of time to, just tell people any offers that you have because you are very, very knowledgeable. You said some words that I don't even know what it means, but I can always tell that someone is passionate about what they do by the words that they use. Yeah, just tell the people, what you have to offer, and
Okay.
plug anything that you have.
I would say, as far as the most valuable thing I like to leave with the audience,
Mhm.
um, and this is coming from like my successes and my losses as well, because I've tried it all: trading options, trading stocks, trading crypto, doing really active intraday trading, doing the longer term passive swing trading. And the thing that I would say is to have a long-term investor approach, have a business mindset, and don't get greedy. Just focus on like stacking what you have. Um, and there's an opportunity with that in DeFi. So right now I'm working on an app called Vaults app, and the website's going to be vaults.cash. On social media, the handle's going to be Vaults Crypto app. And what I want to do here is provide one-click liquidity positions, like what I was saying for DeFi. So, it's easy for anybody to get on Coinbase and buy any crypto on there. It's easy for anybody to get on Robinhood and buy stocks. So I want to make a product where people can get on there and just as easily click, and they're invested into a liquidity pool. So it's like prepackaged for them, so that they could take the best of both worlds in terms of investing and trading. Because again, there's active income and there's passive income. Trading is providing active income, generating like cash flows, which is probably what a lot of people are looking for. And then you got investing for the longer term, like equity and portfolio growth. So DeFi liquidity pools let you kind of have a blend of both that cash flow and the equity growth. And so I'm making this app, Vault app, just for that reason. So y'all stay on the lookout for that.
Okay, okay. And so how much will they need to get started if they were interested into it?
I would say like just start small. They don't need a whole lot, just whatever they're comfortable with. That's the beauty of like the DeFi world. They enable microtransactions and stuff. So um, just whatever you're comfortable with.
All right. So I can start with 25 bucks.
Absolutely. And
All
just
right.
put it in there every week, just let it build. And it's gonna be producing like cash flows, man, like a real ATM business.
Yeah. But of course, they have to the more that they put in, the more rewarding it would be for them, right?
Absolutely.
I
Mhm.
guess so. So, Mr. Campbell, I greatly appreciate your time, man. You came in the last minute, and your hair looks amazing, man. And I
Thanks.
appreciate you making your time for me, man.
Appreciate it, Jeremy.
All
Thank you.
right, man. We'll keep
Appreciate it.
in touch, man.
Absolutely.
All right, have a great Labor Day weekend.
You too.
All right.